Why do people misunderstand each other? This is based off a talk by the philosopher Ghulam Hussein Ibrahimi Dinani, and it's basically my understanding, stroke interpretation, of some of the points he made that I thought were interesting. Whenever we hear someone say something, there is some degree of interpretation that goes on in our minds, and this can, at times, lead to misunderstanding. One of the reasons for this is tribalism. See, our brain has a tendency to divide people into in group and out group, and we start to identify with the ideas of our tribe. This leads to us viewing any divergence from those ideas as an attack on our identity, rendering us incapable of even considering it. Another reason is habit. Aristotle once said, "We are what we repeatedly do," and some people develop a habitual cynicism. It becomes almost like a reflex for them to infer the worst motivations for anything that's said to them. I'm sure you can see how that would lead to misunderstandings. The next thing is propaganda. You could take the exact same news story and, depending on where you heard it from, come away with a completely different interpretation because the framing was different. This is why we see so many discussions where, even though both sides agree on what the facts are, they have a completely different understanding of the implications. Finally, we have ambiguity. According to the Lockean principle, certainty should be proportionate to evidence. Some people, however, have very strong opinions about things that, quite frankly, are unclear. When you start to identify with these abstract or ambiguous ideas, the prospect of your being mistaken becomes almost unthinkable to you. What's perhaps most dangerous about these ideas is that since they're not grounded in evidence to begin with, no amount of evidence to the contrary will ever be enough to dispel them. This, again, makes it almost impossible for these people to engage with anything that challenges those ideas.